the Japanese Grand Prix isn't merely a routine checkpoint in the Formula One calendar. It stands as a potential turning point, a volatile arena where ambitions, rivalries, and unpredictable elements converge in spectacular fashion. Suzuka, a circuit steeped in tradition and revered by purists, is once again the crucible where pressure will either forge champions or shatter aspirations. And yet, what lies ahead isn't just about lap times or qualifying sectors. There's a growing sense of electricity in the air, not just from the threat of incoming storms, but from the simmering tension brewing between drivers, teams, and the very fabric of the 2025 season. Suzuka promises more than a race. It's a stage for emotional unraveling, high-stakes gambits, and fierce, unfiltered competition. For starters, the circuit itself is poised to be the first antagonist. Suzuka has undergone significant transformation thanks to a massive resurfacing project that's fundamentally altered key portions of the track, particularly from the final corner exit all the way through Sector 1. The legendary S-curves, known for their flowing, high-speed rhythm and demand for surgical aerodynamic balance, now lie atop fresh asphalt. While this new surface offers enhanced grip, it comes with a treacherous catch: accelerated tire degradation. The added traction teases performance gains, but it forces teams into a dangerous strategic balancing act. Push too hard and your rubber could fall apart. Play it safe, and you're lunch for the pack behind. But that's not all. The circuit's very anatomy has changed. Several critical corners, turns 2, 7, 9, 14, and 17, have had their curbs replaced with more punishing, dual-layered versions. The once forgiving synthetic grass that flanked the track has been replaced by menacing gravel traps. One tiny misjudgment, a bold overtake attempt at the wrong moment, or a lapse in concentration could now result in instant disaster. A momentary lapse could hurl a driver into the stones and end a weekend of dreams in the blink of an eye. Yet, the physical track changes pale in comparison to the psychological and emotional warfare at play. At the heart of this unfolding storm is a brewing personal clash that's sending shockwaves through the paddock. Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, two drivers with everything to prove, are at the center of a quietly escalating standoff. What began as subtle tension has erupted into a full-blown headline-grabbing drama. Their recent verbal sparring has split fans and commentators alike, turning media rooms and garage briefings into speculative war zones. It's no longer just about driving, it's personal. And Suzuka, with its historic weight and unforgiving corners, is the perfect backdrop for this emotional showdown. But there's a bigger, more calculated game unfolding beneath the surface. Ferrari, cloaked in its usual mystique, has entered Suzuka with icy determination and razor-sharp strategy, quietly intent on toppling McLAREN from their recent podium dominance. In parallel, Mercedes is desperately clawing for relevance, eager to shed the weight of recent underperformance. And Red Bull, well, they're navigating their own internal crisis, desperately attempting to hold together a public image of unity while whispers of internal division grow louder each week. Overlay all of this with a weather forecast that looks like it was pulled from a dramatic screenplay. Initial projections suggest that Friday and Saturday might remain relatively dry, giving teams a chance to fine-tune setups. But the calm is deceptive. As race day approaches, temperatures are predicted to drop sharply, shaking up tire behavior and forcing engineers to gamble early on setups that may be rendered obsolete within hours. And then there's Sunday, the wild card. Meteorologists are forecasting an 80% likelihood of rain, with the heaviest showers expected early in the morning. This raises an age-old dilemma. Will the track still be drenched by lights out? Or will the rain vanish just in time to punish every team that gambled on a wet setup? It's the kind of uncertainty that keeps strategists awake at night. Think back to Melbourne, a prime example of how quickly things can unravel when teams overcommit to one weather model only to be blindsided by the sun breaking through. Suzuka could provide an even more chaotic sequel. And amid this swirling chaos, a story of national pride is quietly building momentum. For the first time in over a decade, a Japanese driver, Yuki Tsunoda, has a legitimate chance of standing on the podium at his home race. It hasn't happened since 2012, and only twice in the sport's entire history has a Japanese driver managed it on home soil. Tsunoda is acutely aware of the weight of this moment, and he's not hiding his ambition. In what many interpreted as both a confident and confrontational statement, he recently declared that the RB21, the machine beneath him this weekend, is unlike anything he's driven before. Gone are the erratic, unpredictable cars of the past. This one, he claims, is a refined, stable beast. With fire in his eyes and a calm authority in his voice, Tsunoda outlined how pressure doesn't cripple him, it sharpens him. "Pressure," he said, "is not something I fear. It's what fuels me." And this weekend, with the full Red Bull colors draped across his suit for the first time, the stakes feel astronomically high. Tsunoda knows it. The fans know it. And perhaps most importantly, his rivals feel it too. "I don't want to overhype it," he admitted to reporters earlier this week. "But yes, my goal is the podium. That's what I'm here for. That's what I owe the people who believed in me." It's the kind of statement that forces everyone in the paddock to take notice. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson finds himself thrust into the spotlight in an entirely different way. After being left out of last year's Suzuka weekend, a track he knows intimately, one he's described as his all-time favorite, Lawson has finally earned his official debut with Red Bull's BLLL racing team. But the timing and politics surrounding his promotion have sparked murmurs across the paddock. Red Bull claims it's a long-term move, part of Lawson's carefully mapped trajectory. But not everyone is buying it. Let's be real, 2 appearances with the senior Red Bull team weren't enough to fully showcase his potential. And now, he's been dropped straight into the furnace at Suzuka, the track he's logged more hours on than almost anyone else. This was supposed to be his proving ground last year. Now, it's his battlefield. So what should we brace for this weekend? Chaos, rain, fractured radio messages, sudden strategy shifts, drivers pushing beyond the brink as Suzuka's transformed layout punishes every mistake. The roar of engines will echo through iconic corners as teams gamble on weather, tire wear, and the unforgiving limits of courage. But above all, we expect drama, because Suzuka always delivers. And this year, with tempers flaring, rain clouds forming, and destinies on the line, the 2025 Japanese Grand Prix has the potential to become one of the most unforgettable chapters in recent Formula One history. So buckle up. This isn't just a race, it's war in disguise. That missed opportunity still lingers in Liam Lawson's mind like a wound that never quite healed. Suzuka, a circuit that fits his driving DNA like a glove, was supposed to be the place where everything aligned, where talent met timing. With its sweeping corners and flowing rhythm, it mirrored his strengths, his experience, and his emotional connection to racing in Japan. It was meant to be his breakout moment. But instead, he was left watching from the sidelines, feeling the sting of potential unfulfilled. Now, in an unexpected twist of fate, that moment is back on the table. And this time, he's not letting it go. Lawson has been handed a rare second chance, a lifeline hurled into the chaotic current of Formula One's ever-shifting landscape. This opportunity, sudden and unscripted, wasn't part of anyone's plan. In his own words, his team didn't see it coming. The reorganization caught everyone off guard. Yet here they are. Lawson is back in the cockpit, in the one place he's longed to compete, and he's embracing it with everything he has. He didn't choose the timing. He didn't orchestrate the shuffle. But he's here now, and for him, that's all that matters. With a calm but intense energy, he explained that remaining active in F1, staying on the grid, and keeping his name in the conversation is his #1 mission. He's spent the week deep in preparation, both mentally and physically, and says he's more than ready to make the most of this moment. The team has had a respectable start to the season, and Lawson sees the current car configuration as a real window of opportunity. His goal is crystal clear: stay in the spotlight, deliver results, and remind everyone, especially Red Bull, why he deserves a permanent seat. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment anymore. It's about performing when it counts, even if the call comes earlier than expected. And yet, as compelling as Lawson's personal arc is, it's only one of many narratives unfolding at Suzuka this weekend. The Japanese Grand Prix is shaping up to be a battleground not only for redemption stories but for a larger conflict at the sharp end of the grid, Ferrari versus McLaren. And this is not just about team rivalry. It's a collision of ideologies, engineering philosophies, and long-term visions for supremacy. Ferrari, despite an up-and-down season so far, arrives in Japan with guarded optimism. Behind closed doors, the Scuderia believes the unique demands of the Suzuka circuit might just play into their hands. It's not blind hope, there's data to support it. The SF25 has shown a marked improvement in medium to high-speed cornering, a critical asset at Suzuka, where such sections dominate the layout. Unlike circuits dominated by tight, low-speed hairpins and traction zones, Suzuka flows like a symphony. Long arcs, rapid changes of direction, and only a few low-speed sections. The layout is brutal in its precision, but it favors cars that can maintain speed and balance through sweeping curves. This could be Ferrari's best chance yet to mount a serious challenge at the front. On the other hand, McLaren may face a tougher task. If their setup leans too heavily toward optimizing low-speed grip, as it has in previous rounds, they might find themselves wrestling with balance in the high-speed rhythm of this track. But this doesn't mean Ferrari has a clear path. The SF25 has been plagued by inconsistency. For every weekend of promise, there has been another mired in misfires and missed opportunities. When asked about Ferrari's unpredictable form heading into Japan, Lewis Hamilton offered a candid assessment. He pointed to setup choices as a major variable. He admitted that a wrong decision in qualifying compromised his entire race weekend, a mistake that cost him dearly. It's the kind of scenario Ferrari can't afford to replicate at Suzuka, especially with no major upgrades arriving. There are whispers in the paddock that a reworked floor might be coming soon, possibly for Imola, but for now, Ferrari is doubling down on fine-tuning what they already have. The focus is on aerodynamic efficiency, ride height calibration, and perfecting the aero balance of the car using recent telemetry data from China. The engineers believe that under very specific conditions, the SF25 can deliver exceptional results, and those conditions might finally align in Japan. Charles Leclerc, known for his brutal honesty, shared a measured but hopeful outlook. He acknowledged that high-speed corners have been a relative strength for the team this year, but warned that weaknesses in low and medium speed zones are still evident. He reflected on Melbourne, where McLaren had the upper hand in the final sector. Whether it was tire performance or something deeper in setup philosophy, Ferrari's race pace didn't hold up. It was a reminder that progress doesn't mean dominance. Not yet. That's the central tension around Ferrari right now. They're improving, but they're not consistent. Suzuka may flatter some of their strengths, but McLaren isn't going to make life easy. The Woking-based team has emerged as the most complete and composed operation this season. Their performance in Australia, particularly in unpredictable conditions, sent a clear message to the rest of the paddock. They found something special. Low tire degradation, surgical precision in strategy, and relentless adaptability. McLaren has all the ingredients of a team poised for greatness. If Ferrari wants to reignite its glory days, this is where the climb begins, by taking down the papaya giants. So, as the F1 circus descends upon Suzuka, the atmosphere is electric. This isn't just another race weekend. It's a convergence of personal missions and institutional wars. A story of comebacks, rivalries, and redemption. Liam Lawson has a chance to seize the moment he was once denied. Yuki Tsunoda carries the hopes of a nation. Ferrari is trying to prove that its resurgence is real. McLaren is determined to defend its throne. And through it all, Suzuka, legendary, unforgiving, sacred, stands ready to test them all. This Grand Prix won't just move the standings. It might reshape the season. To digest. This isn't just another race weekend. Suzuka has evolved into something far more significant, a crucible of redemption, a theater for revenge, and possibly the birthplace of something new. It's a proving ground where stories are rewritten and rivalries intensified. For Liam Lawson, it's the chance to reclaim a career narrative that once slipped through his fingers. For Ferrari, it's an opportunity to shut down the doubters and throw a wrench into McLaren's momentum. And for McLaren, it's about holding on to the throne they've worked so hard to seize, and defending it from all angles. Make no mistake, this weekend will be more than just a race. It's destined to be a turning point, an unveiling, a revelation. Whether it exposes cracks in dominant teams or reveals the rise of an unexpected contender, something will be made clear by the time the checkered flag falls. Against every forecast and to the bewilderment of rival engineers and strategists, McLaren has stumbled upon something extraordinary, an almost unnatural mastery of tire preservation. In an era where degradation eats strategies alive and chews up even the most finely tuned cars, the team from Woking has found a way to extend tire life far beyond what should be possible. It doesn't matter if it's a blistering one-lap qualifying flyer or a long-haul race stint, their machines remain calm, composed, and efficient while others fade. They've unlocked a formula that rivals are desperately trying to decode. And no matter how aggressive the tire strategies from Ferrari, no matter how cunning the pit calls from Mercedes, no one has come close to mimicking McLaren's silent weapon, their almost supernatural tire management. That, more than any engine tweak or aerodynamic gain, is what's giving them the edge right now. But before we rush to crown them champions of the 2025 season, a dose of realism is required. Dominance in April does not guarantee glory in November. This is Formula One, a battlefield ruled not by consistency, but by volatility. In this world, supremacy is temporary, and fortune is as fragile as carbon fiber. Because in this sport, the only constant is change. Driver errors, sudden storms, mid-season upgrades, and unexpected failures. These are the hidden puppeteers of every title campaign. So while McLaren may be enjoying their golden phase now, their grip on power is anything but guaranteed. The long campaign ahead promises twists, traps, and ambushes that could erase their lead in a heartbeat. And looming beneath all this, a storm that could change everything, is a detail that many observers seem to have missed. Perhaps the most critical pressure point of all, the internal battlefield forming inside McLaren's own garage. Unlike some teams that have drawn a clear line in the sand between their drivers, McLaren has made one thing unmistakably clear: there is no established hierarchy. No designated number one. No hidden favoritism. The scoreboard tells the story. Both drivers have secured a win each, and the balance of power between them is perfectly level. We are now entering dangerous territory, the kind that breeds conflict, not camaraderie. Look back at 2016. Echoes of that Mercedes nightmare are already starting to ring through the paddock. That year, Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg tore through the season not just as teammates, but as rivals locked in psychological warfare. Each Grand Prix became a mental chess match and every press conference a battleground. That same dynamic could very well begin to unravel at McLaren, especially now that both drivers have tasted victory and both want more. The stakes couldn't be higher. Unlike Mercedes during their dominant era, McLaren has no safety cushion. They can't afford infighting because their competition is breathing down their necks. Ferrari is charging. Red Bull, though turbulent, is never truly out of the picture. Mercedes and Aston Martin are lurking too, waiting for a mistake, a misstep, a single misjudged corner that could topple the entire house of cards. That's why Suzuka matters more than most weekends. This is where we begin to see whether McLaren's inter-driver balance will hold or implode. Will they continue to share data, trade feedback, and push each other forward? Or will the gloves come off now that both drivers see a clear path to the title? Now that they know exactly what's at stake? Suzuka is unforgiving. A high-speed ribbon of precision and pressure, it punishes every error and exposes every weakness. There's no room for hesitation here. If they push too hard, they'll risk crashing out. But if they play it too safe, a hungry competitor will snatch victory from their hands. This is Formula One's version of high-speed chess, played at 300 kilometers per hour. And the next few moves may decide the rest of the season. Adding even more fuel to the fire is the broader technical battlefield forming just over the horizon. While no team has formally announced major upgrades for Japan, that silence may be deceptive. Suzuka could be the calm before the storm, the final chapter of McLaren's early season dominance before the other giants unleash their responses. In the shadows, rival teams are hard at work. New floors are being fabricated. Suspension geometries are being tweaked. Aerodynamic maps are being redrawn in anticipation of a counteroffensive that could flip the championship order overnight. The next few rounds could see the entire pecking order shaken to its core, and Suzuka might be the last time we see McLaren this far ahead. Which brings us to the only question that truly matters. Will the Japanese Grand Prix give us the dramatic showdown everyone's been waiting for? Will teammates turn to adversaries under the weight of ambition? Will Ferrari finally stitch together a clean, dominant weekend and mount a serious challenge? Will Mother Nature crash the party with rainstorms that turn pit lanes into panic zones? Or will McLaren, despite the pressure, the rivalry, and the looming chaos, find a way to hold the line and win once more? No matter how it ends, one thing is beyond debate. This race will be drenched in drama. So now we turn it over to you, the fans, the strategists in the comment section, the heartbeat of this sport. Drop your predictions below. Who do you think will conquer Suzuka? Will it be another dominant outing for McLaren's young warriors, or will a dark horse rise through the mist of Mount Fuji to shock us all? And once you've made your call, don't forget to click the video that just popped up on your screen, because if you thought this preview was intense, what's coming next might just blow your mind.